Alright, super exciting here. The results are in, so I don't know how to actually show them on the stream. But anyway, 4 votes for Hunter, 2 votes for Priest, and 1 vote for the poor, poor Rogue. So we're going to go ahead and grab Rexar the Hunter here for our inaugural arena. And kick things off with a nice rare pick. So in this pack, I think it's a pretty straightforward choice. Gonna grab Explosive Shot here because it is a really good removal spell. Hunters are a little bit lacking for direct removal. A lot of their removal is kind of funky. And this one, being both direct and mass removal, is going to be a really nice pick. In this pack, we're getting some pretty mediocre choices. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Worgen Infiltrator here because it is a really solid 1-drop. It's one of the 2 good neutral 1-drops. This Timberwolf is terrible, and I really never liked the Priestess. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and grab Unleash the Hounds. This is an amazingly strong card. I have a feeling Blizzard's going to nerf it either back to its original cost of 4 mana or at least a middle ground of 3 mana. But yeah, this card is insanely good, so you definitely need to be taking it when you play Hunter in the arena. Alright, here we're going to have an Ooze. Yeah, that's got to be the pick here, because obviously the Ooze is strictly better than the Raptor. I mean, yes, the Raptor's a beast, and I'm a Hunter, but I'm not going to take bad beasts just to go for the synergies, and I still don't like this Priestess. Stop giving that to me, Hearthstone. Okay, thanks, bye. Alright, Deadly Shot, very important card for Hunters to have. Sometimes it's your only out against big dudes. And here, I think the Iron for a Grizzly is a good pick, because I don't have any 3-mana creatures yet. And it is a beast, and it's actually a good beast, and it's got taunt, so this is actually just a really solid card for Hunters to see in the draft all around. Alright, now as I often like to say, Crazed Alchemist always finds a use, but I'm not going to pass on a Savannah Highmane. It is a very good beast, it's a good late game card, it's really annoying for your opponent to deal with, so it's just nice to have. Alright, now here, this is a tricky call. Obviously, don't take the Young Dragonhawk, that card is garbage. So the Tundra Rhino is totally fine, it's kind of like a Stormwind Knight that costs an extra mana. And then maybe if your opponent doesn't kill it, your beasts come in with charge. But in the arena, you know, obviously it's cool if a Savannah Highmane can charge, but most of the time you're really not going to pull that off. Freezing Trap can be a very important card. Sometimes it's like a good out against a single big drop early on. It's a tough call. I think if this were Explosive Trap, I would take it. Maybe this is one of those little mistakes I make in Hunter is not valuing Freezing Trap highly enough, but I will take the Tundra Rhino. Okay. Well, if I already have Unleash the Hounds, it'd be pretty crazy not to take Starving Buzzard. You can get a bajillion skillion cards off of that combo. And another Priestess of Elune. Oh man, no thanks. Okay, here I think I'm going to take a second Highmane, because I actually kind of like playing the somewhat more mid-range, late-game style of Hunter. I don't think Hunter has to be played like, you know, zerging your opponent down. I think that if you go in for the long game, and then you can just use your steady shot to whittle your opponent down over time and eventually kill them if you're in moderate control. Obviously, it doesn't work against Priests or Warriors, because they can negate you, but there aren't that many Priests and Warriors nowadays in the arena, so that's why maybe I've been doing so well as Hunter. Misdirection is a decent choice. Sometimes it can be a real blowout, but it's not as consistent as just a really good 6-drop. Oh boy, tough call here. So in the abstract, Boulder Fist Ogre is better than the Silverhand Knight. However, I already have 2 6-drops, so it would be very greedy, I think, to take an Ogre over the Silverhand Knight when the Silverhand Knight is such a nice drop. At the same time, I wonder, like, if I get into some kind of late-game battle and I'm going to top deck the Silverhand Knight and just regret that it's not an Ogre. Man, that's tough. I think I have to trust my instincts and take the Silverhand Knight here for curve reasons, but that was a really difficult pick. Okay, Houndmaster is a card I used to value really highly, not anymore. Frostwolf Warlord, it actually is a pretty good combo with Unleash the Hounds, but it's a little bit sketchy. I think I'd rather just take a second Deadly Shot. I've definitely missed having more when I've only played with 1. Oh man, this is a trash pack. I'm gonna take another Rhino, but we're starting to get a little bit curve heavy here. I hope I can get some cheaper stuff soon. Well, okay, here's the chance to pick up Freezing Trap. Kids, don't take Stone Tusk Board. Yes, I know it says Beast on the bottom. That card's garbage, so we'll take Freezing Trap here. Harvest Golem's kind of exactly what I need here. Just some more good empty board kind of drops. Stormwind Champion. We're going to take Multi-Shot. That's another important removal card to have at least one of. Oh, man. Well, this is a tough call. So, on the one hand, the Kodo is a good beast, and good beasts are great for Hunters, but notice we've already got a 1/6 of our deck. Well, a 5th, if you count Explosive Shot, is 5 mana or more. Eaglehorn Bow is just really terrific, and I think I have to take it here. I don't think I can afford to clog up more of my upper curve with a card that is sometimes amazing but sometimes totally whiffs, when there's a card that's cheaper and card advantage and really consistent all the time. Wow. So I could take a second Starving Buzzard or a second Unleash the Hounds. I think I'll take a second... Oh boy, it's a tough call. I'm actually curious to see what folks are going to say in the chat about this one. I mean, on the one hand, if you take another Buzzard, that makes it more likely that when you get your one Unleash the Hound, you'll pair it with a Buzzard. But if you get two Unleash the Hounds, it makes it more likely that if you get your one Buzzard, you'll pair it with Unleash the Hounds. I think actually Unleash the Hounds has got to be the pick. It's a little bit more consistent than the Buzzard. Okay. Well, I would take the Harpy here if I weren't already pretty high up in my curve. The Dread Corsair only really works with the bow, otherwise it's just an overpriced Grizzly that isn't a beast. Boy, that's a tough call. I'll take the Corsair. I might end up having just to play it as a 4-drop because my curve is sucking so bad here. Where are all the Senjins and Yetis? Not here. That's for sure. No thanks on the Demolisher. We'll take a second Explosive Shot. Animal Companion. It's exactly... Well, let's think about this. Animal Companion, so it's clearly better than the Snapjaw, but the Snapjaw fits into my curve. What are the odds that in my last third of the draft I'm actually going to see some 4-drops? High enough. I'll take the better card. Oh my goodness, we have Unleash the Hounds number 3. I think that I'm unleashing a little bit too many hounds. We're not going to have enough dog food. The kennels will run out of space. I'm going to take Spellbreaker here just to have a silence in the deck. Okay, I don't want third Tundra Rhino. Now, Multi-Shot is definitely good, and I wouldn't mind having a second one, but I really need 4-mana creatures real bad. This is a bit of a risk, but I'm going to take the Panda here. It fits into my curve. It's a really good 4-drop, and I need that content. Oh, man. Wow, we have a Premier Pack here. So, boy, it's a tough call. I mean, the Dark Iron Dwarf fits into the curve. How many 4-drops do I actually have? I mean, 1, 2, 3, but the Spellbreaker doesn't really count, so just 2. You kind of need good 4-drops to win games. Now, the Tiger's a really great beast. First of all, it's a beast, so it works with Unleash the Hounds. It works with my 2 Tundra Rhinos. And it's really great for finishing off your opponent if you get them low but can't quite cinch the deal. I don't have any buffs in this deck, as we like to say. Bad buffs are better than no buffs. That tilts it in favor of the Dwarf. Am I really going to pass on a second Boulder Fist Ogre? I mean, that's kind of crazy, but I may need to do that. Jeez. This is a tough call. I don't know if I'm making the right choice here, but I'll take the Dwarf. We're going to keep an eye on that very, very closely, because I could end up being totally wrong. Okay, here we'll take an Argent Squire to have another 1-drop, so I got the 2 Premier 1-drops, Argent and Worgen. And actually, I'm really happy that another Tiger came by. I definitely don't want a third Rhino or Snipe, but the Tiger is just something I'd like to have in the deck to help close out the games. Now, this is a really important point. I think here you have to take Hunter's Mark. When you're holding 2 Unleash the Hounds, this becomes a little bit too good. Oh, 2 Explosive Shot and 2 Unleash the Hounds. If you passed Hunter's Mark here, you'd be crazy. Now, that's easy to do, I guess, because these other cards are not, so great, but I just want to point out, even if these cards have been really good, Hunter's Mark is huge in value for the current draft that we have. Am I going to take a third Deadly Shot? I think that's too many Deadly Shots, honestly. Boy. I don't know if I can use that many Deadly Shots. This hurts. I'm going to take the Farseer just because it's a creature. Okay, so, well, the only playable card here is the Assassin. Now, this is, in my opinion, a bad card. Oh, hey, so Bubba2077 just pointed out that the text at the bottom of the screen is still there. My apologies. We have already begun. It was promptly on the hour, but we don't need to remember that fact for all time. Thank you, Bubba20077. Here, a Ravenhold Assassin, I would say it's a bad card in general, but when you do just desperately need to finish your opponent off, it can work. Now, I think this is better in a more aggressive deck. My deck has a really high curve, so this is actually going to be pretty sad. I just cannot afford to take either one of these cards, because they're just unplayable. So, the Ravenhold Assassin is not something I would pick highly there. I just pick it because I had to. Okay, now let's take a look at our 2-drops. We have, I mean, the Ooze... We have the Ooze, really. I mean, the Starving Buzzard, you don't really play it on turn 2. These you don't play on turn 2. I need 2-drops. And my 5-mana area is getting a little bit too high. So this is a moment I think you have to take the Crazed Alchemist, just because of curve reasons. I didn't have like anything to play in the early game. Now, yes, I've got 2 1-drops, and you don't like need to have an overwhelming amount of 2-drops. I could always like lay a Freezing Trap or whatever, but you have to watch your curve a little bit there. Okay, so that was an interesting draft. I think I did a pretty good job drafting that, actually. I think this is a strong deck. It's got lots of removal. A few clunky cards, but not too many. Mainly, if we can get out of the early game without being overwhelmed, I think this should be fine. Alright, so we're up against a paladin. So that means the buzzard's not exactly playable on turn 2. I think everything needs to get mulliganed. Tragically. And alright, so we mulligan into a pair of Unleash the Hounds. That is a little bit disconcerting. Granted, Unleash the Hounds is pretty good against Paladins simply because they're going to have these recruits floating around, and each recruit will just automatically die to the Hounds that you make, because you make one extra Hound for every recruit they have. But obviously these are just not going to be that useful for a while, so I'm going to start with a steady shot and probably going to have to play a Golem on turn 3. It's going to coin out a recruit. Oh, that's aggressive. And I draw my buzzard anyway. Yeah, I think we got a steady shot here and just hope for the best. I'm a little bit heartened by the coining out of the recruit. I don't think that's a good play, unless he has an Argent Protector. Now, if he has Argent Protector and puts Divine Shield on this thing, I think his play was totally justified. If he's just going to play like a random 2-drop or something, then I think making the recruit was a bit silly. He's got it. Okay, all right, very good. I think that was a legitimate play to coin out the recruit, given that he had the buff for it. Kind of like when shamans coin out a totem on turn 1 because they have a Flame Tongue totem in their hand. Okay, well, the Harvest Golem here really paying for itself. Super great drop here. It's threatening to kill the Argent Protector. It can pop the Divine Shield on this recruit and still come back to win it. And then if he plays even a single creature next turn, I can play Unleash the Starving Buzzard plus Unleash the Hounds and draw 3 cards, which seems pretty good. Alright, so the question is, do we get greedy here, playing the bear, and then hoping that I can, like, he can put even more creatures out onto the field next turn? You know, no, I think it's important to do the Starving Buzzard Hounds here right now, simply because this will give a lot of targets for the Demolisher. Since I'm not going to kill the Demolisher this turn, I think it's important to give it as many distractions as I can. Oh, man, if only I had Crazed Alchemist that I could play right now. That would be great, because then I could Crazed Alchemist on the Demolisher and then use one of the Hounds to kill it. Well, we'll see if we need to do that in the future. So let's go ahead and kill the Argent Protector. Let's actually trade a couple of Hounds to get rid of that recruit. Don't let Paladins keep creatures. And, yeah, my Buzzard is going to die to the Demolisher, but I didn't I didn't mean the Demolisher was going to hit it. I meant the Demolisher was going to attack it, but he got very lucky there, getting the best possible hit. And yeah, so I think I was okay. I got a bunch of card advantage now to make up for my slow start. He didn't like do anything that crazy to me. My life total is pretty high. This is looking pretty good. I would say that I have the advantage at this moment. Now, this Unleash the Hounds could have been another Buzzard. I guess I'm glad that it's another Unleash the Hounds rather than a second Buzzard, to be honest. Hand of ball sacks. Bibbity bobbity boobity bibbity. Alright. Tricky situation here with this Divine Shield, making it difficult to kill off the Demolisher. Now, I could of course just go run everything in and kill it, but the problem then is I leave this alive. Oh, no, wait, no, I can actually kill off everything. What am I talking about? Yes. So we're going to play Crazed Alchemist to switch that up. I'll play the Eagle Horn Bow to kill off the Farseer. And then we're going to cash everything out to kill off the Demolisher, because obviously you don't want that hitting you in the face all the time. Note that even though I kind of took a couple of cards to kill the Demolisher, it was worth it, because that Divine Shield, it came from a Hand of Protection. He went down a card putting that Divine Shield on. So I think I'm in good shape. He's got 5 cards to my, like, 6, and I have the board advantage already. So again, I think I'm in really good shape. Plus I also have the bow in my hand. Really shouldn't be too bad. A few folks are mentioning that there's a bit of video lag. I agree. I'm actually experiencing a little bit of lag myself, and I apologize for that. I'm not sure what's making it do that. Hopefully, it will either go away by itself, or maybe during a break I can figure out a way. Because when I stream with Hearthstone, it's fine. It just seems like having Twitch open is what's doing it. In any case, here, the Fen Creeper's a very good drop. I'd have to throw away everything and my weapon just to kill it. I don't have any buffs that I could use to help get rid of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just play the Savannah Highmane, which threatens to kill the Fen Creeper, and I'm not going to go whole hog attacking. I'd rather just pass the turn here and then take a chance. So yes, don't let paladins keep creatures, but sometimes you gotta take risks. Ah, that Fen Creeper was incredibly good. This is why Taunt is a good card, or Fen Creeper is a good card. I've actually seen on Reddit some people say that Taunt is overrated. I don't think Taunt is overrated. I think that Taunt is appropriately rated, and this person just cannot get enough of Divine Shields. That is the third one today. My gippity gappity goopity gippity goodness. Luckily, Unleash the Hounds is actually pretty good against Divine Shield, because you get a throwaway hound there to pop it. Unfortunately, the Bluegill Warrior is going to obviously kill one of my creatures and die. But he should still make a recruit here. Kaido's asking me, what's your internet business upload speed, Delio? It's pretty good. I mean, I have cable, and it's got a pretty high upload speed. I don't know the exact number, but it's pretty decent. Anyway, he says it was a mistake. Is it because he thinks Unleash the Hounds is coming? I wonder. Anyway, do I play this here? Probably. Let's actually make an animal companion. I want to see what I get first before I commit to the hounds. Ah, okay. That makes Unleash the Hounds a no-brainer. Now they've all get +1 attack. So, what do I use? The weapon or a hound? Well, the best thing you could have against me is a consecration. So, since these hounds are going to die to consecration anyway, I presume, let's just go ahead and cash them out. Or cast one of them out anyway for that Divine Shield. Let's do this. You know what? I'm gonna... Do I let him keep a creature? No, I'm not gonna let him keep a creature. Whatever. Don't let paladins keep creatures. That felt wrong because the hounds are getting buffed, but... yeah. I think it was a good move. I'll hold on to the weapon. I'll at least use it to kill a recruit. In the worst case, in the best case, I'll kill an actual creature with it or burn him out for some extra damage. There's a lot of damage on the field. This is 12 damage, 14 damage. Oh my god. Well, deadly shot? I got 2. Oh my god, you know what, folks? This could have been this panda could have been a deadly shot, I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, nope, never mind. Young Priestess came out to protect it. Fair deal, fair deal. Alright, Swampoos, don't play these against Paladins. They're way too good for killing off, what is it? True Silver Champions. I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna play a bear because it charges, which is pretty sweet. This, I believe, is the time to use up... well, no. I think I'm gonna use up the Golem to pop the Divine Shield. I think now is the time to cash out my Savannah Highmane. I'll use my weapon to kill off the Priestess. These hyenas have charged because of the charging Rhino. So, tons of damage is being dealt to the opponent's face. Could I have actually killed him? Oh, I should have looked for that. I didn't look for the win. I didn't have it, but I should have. Because if I had hit him with my weapon, he would have been at 4 health. I should have definitely looked for that. Well, this has been a beatdown of epic proportions. I'm not sure I was ever behind in this game. Like, he got off to a fast start with the coin recruit into Argent Protector, but after that, I mean, I was just on top of it. Ever since I pulled off the Buzzard plus the Unleash the Hounds. And note, the second Unleash the Hounds could have been a Buzzard. I think it was better as a Hound than as a Buzzard, so I'm glad I made that choice. Holy Light. What is that? Holy Light? Yeah, to heal himself. That's good. Well, it's a bad card, but it doesn't really matter. He was screwed no matter what. So my beasts have charged. That seems like this will be a pretty good play then. And just in case I did my arithmetic wrong, we'll steady shot as well. And okay, that was a pretty encouraging start to the run, and certainly the kind of game I'd like to have my first time streaming on Twitch. Excellent. If I miss a question in the chat, I apologize. I'll check the chat a little bit more thoroughly during the time between games when we are loading up our next opponent. And the game freezes. Uh-oh. Hearthstone is not responding. It's responding again, but it's not... okay. Okay, good. It survived. Awesome. Baba, who is from the year 20,077, says, GG, thank you, good sir or madam. It was indeed a good game. Yes. Sacred Onion says in the chat there's a lot of synergy in this deck. There is. That is nice when you can actually pull off synergy as a hunter. I think what's nice about hunter is there's these cards where it's like, well, on its own the card's not great. However, it like synergizes with like a bunch of different cards. So as long as there's like a multitude of things you can synergize with, that's nice. Alright, so we're putting our skills really to the test against mages here. I will obviously send back my 5-drops, keep the Argent Squire. Quick note, folks, just in case you haven't heard me talk about this before, you should absolutely play Argent Squires against mages. Like, yes, they can ping it off with their hero ability and get card advantage, but they're going to have to ping it off twice. So you spent 1 mana, they spent 4 mana, that is absolutely worth it. Because even though you lose a card, the amount of time that you gain is definitely worth it. Okay, so obviously I'm not playing the Starving Buzzard on turn 2. I don't know why this card got nerfed. I am just so bitter every single time. She's going to try to kill it with Arcane Missiles. Can I win the coin flip? Nope, not a chance. Well, she traded a 1-mana removal for a 1-mana card. Didn't have to use the coin. I would say that my opponent is off to a leaping advantage here with that play. Alright, I draw my other 1-drop. Sure. Definitely better to put this on the board than to steady shot so I can have a chance of killing her 2-drops. Next turn I'll be playing the Animal Companion, and I don't know what I'm hoping for yet. We'll see what she plays. That will affect what I pray for. Kaido asks me in the chat, do I play any other games aside from Hearthstone? Yes. I've played lots of computer games. My favorite computer game of all time is Deus Ex, and my current games that I play a lot of are Binding of Isaac and the Banner Saga. I'm not like a hipster or anything, like it's not like I only go for the indie games, but lately that's just kind of been what it is. In the past year, my favorite games have been The Walking Dead and Faster Than Light, which I wholeheartedly recommend to everybody. She's coining out for an Angry Chicken. Oh my god. How is a mage even going to use Angry Chicken? It's like almost impossible. You'd have to have like Shattered Sun Cleric. And then ping it. I mean, am I going to risk her having a Shattered Sun Cleric? My god, that's ridiculous. Angry Chicken. Well, so I want to just trade my Infiltrator for the chicken. That's a 1-drop for a 1-drop, but it feels wrong because, I mean, it's Angry Motherfucking Chicken. That doesn't seem right to me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and kill off this golem. Just get rid of it. Oh my god, sorry, I did that wrong. I'm so sorry. I should have killed it with my... Whoa, that could actually cost me the game. I should have killed it with my bear and then used the Infiltrator to finish off the damage one. I don't know what the hell happened there. Anyway, I'm probably going to lose the game now because that was a terrible mistake. My apologies. But anyway, other than that was fine. I think I made the right decision to kill off the golem rather than killing off the chicken. Kaido says in the chat that Northern Lion is so goddamn bad at Isaac that since he's been watching Biznap, he doesn't watch Northern Lion anymore. I have to agree, I really like Northern Lion's commentary, but Biznap is definitely the man to watch if you want to see some quality Binding of Isaac play. So because of my misplay there, I lost the bear for absolutely no reason. Luckily, my opponent seems to have like an awful hand of awfulness. She's just going to ping my bear and pass the turn, so I might actually win just because her hand is so terrible. Okay, let's go ahead and kill off the chicken, and I'm going to make a greedy play here. We're going to go ahead and save the bear. This is a couple of things. First of all, it stops the bear from being pinged off by my opponent's hero ability, and second of all, it puts this bear back into my hand, whereupon in the future perhaps I could play the Starving Buzzard and the bear and get a card. That is a thing I could do. What's interesting, though, is watching Biznap play Binding of Isaac, he has good mechanics, but he actually makes, like, at least in his early videos, like, I'm up to, like, the first 80 of his videos, I don't know if he's gotten better, but he actually makes some pretty bad decisions sometimes. So he's definitely, like, a better mechanical player than I am, But it's been really interesting to watch and see how, you know, Binding of Isaac, like the decisions that you make really make a big difference. So here it's a bit unfortunate. I would like to play the Buzzard and the Rhino, but I'm a mana short for doing that. I could play the Buzzard and the Bear and draw a card, but then the card I draw is basically nullified by the fact that I'm losing the Buzzard. So I'm going to make a bit of an odd play here. I'm actually going to just play the Tundra Rhino, and I'm going to swing with it. And the reason for this is that, yes, I lose a card by not playing it after the Buzzard, but I really wasn't going to be able to play it after the Buzzard anyway, unless I, like, pass the turn doing nothing. And then next turn I can play the Buzzard, the Bear, draw a card, and then at least the Buzzard will have charge, so maybe there's a chance that we'll get to run in and kill something, rather than just getting pinged off and dying by the Fire Blast. Okay, Boulder Fist Ogre. Yes, that's excellent. We'll be deadly shotting. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to Buzzard and Bear and Deadly Shot. I am a mana short of doing that. But, I mean, clearly the Boulder Fist Ogre is going to need to die. So we'll do this. And I could Crazed Alchemist to swing for 3 extra damage. That would expose this to Frostbolt. Oh boy, that seems like a dumb move. I could throw away another card by playing the Bear without waiting for the Buzzard first. Or you know what? I'm going to get greedy here. I'm just going to Steady Shot, and I'm just going to swing. Well, we're going to just pass the turn here. I don't know if that was the right play, but I think that the card I'm going to get from the Bear and the fact that the Buzzard and the Bear are pretty likely to be able to charge is worth that pass. It was definitely a difficult call there. That last turn is one that I'm sure a lot of players would disagree on what the right way to play it was. Hearthstone is a deceptively complicated game. Sphinx says in the chat, hey everyone, how are you all? It's so cool to see you stream live. Well, thank you, Sphinx. I'm doing really well, and it's so cool of you to be here. Notice if I had used Crazed Alchemist on my Tundra Rhino, it would have died to the Stormpike Commando, so I feel pretty vindicated. Alright, well here I think it's a pretty easy choice. We're going to play the Starving Buzzard. I'm going to play the Bear. It's going to have charge. And it's going to also draw me a card. I was really kind of hoping for some other beast. I actually don't know what other beasts I have. Crazed Alchemist, not that helpful here. So we're gonna just, well, I could Crazed Alchemist to deal 2 extra damage, but that seems a bit silly. I could Crazed Alchemist on my Buzzard, use the Bear to kill the Stormpike Commando, and then hope that at 2 health the Buzzard will actually survive, so that the Tundra Rhino next turn will actually draw me a card off of it. Is that a crazy play, or should I just throw the Buzzard away? I think, I don't know. I think I'd rather just Steady Shot. Yeah, we'll just do that. Use the Buzzard to kill that. Everything went according to plan here. Swing, swing, and pass the turn. It's a tough call. That was a difficult decision, because I could also see someone making the case for playing Crazed Alchemist for board presence. Maybe I was a bit turned off, because mages, of course, have lots of mass removal with Blizzard and Flame Strike. So having extra stuff die wouldn't have been that hot. Alright, another Sunwalker. Man, today is the day of the frickin' Sunwalkers. Lord. Boy, I don't have a good answer to that. In the slightest, actually. Hoping for my other Deadly Shot is basically the best plan I've got. Freezing Trap, interesting. Yes, that is definitely the play. So we're going to go ahead and play the Ravenholt Assassin now and lay a Freezing Trap. My god, that is really good. So now when the Sunwalker attacks, it's going to get frozen up to her hand. She can replay it, of course, for 8 mana. But that gives me an extra chance to draw my Deadly Shot. And furthermore, I have a 7/5 on the field now, and she's at 17 health. I mean, she's got to be a little bit careful. If she doesn't attack with this, then I suppose she might, like, get into a staring contest with me. She's got to figure it's probably Freezing Trap. Because when you play against Hunters, you should always assume they have the best trap. Because if it's a useless trap, they probably wouldn't have wasted the mana playing it. All right, this Novice Engineer I'm really happy to see, because it means that if she does not attack with the Sunwalker, being all clever, I can use multi-shot to ping off the Divine Shield. She's not going to be all clever, though. She's actually going to swing, so that's pretty epic. Now, we know from Freezing Trap that this is not a counterspell. Here's a question. Does Freezing Trap trigger Spellbender? I actually have no idea if it does or not. That is something I don't know. Interesting. Oh, it's a mirror entity. Okay, fair enough. So now her beasts have charge. You know, I probably should not have impulsively steady shotted because I could consider multi-shotting here. You know what, folks? I messed up. After playing this, I should have waited to see if it was mirror entity because then if it was, I could have actually Hunter's marked the Rhino and then multi-shotted and kill off both of her creatures. Whoops, that was a bit of a misplay. My apologies. So I could Hunter's mark now and kill it off with my own Rhino. If I don't do that, the risk I'm running into is that she has beasts and they'll charge. I'll take that risk. Let's go ahead and actually hit her in the face. We're at the point now where we can kind of start racing a little bit, and we can pass the turn. I could have played Crazed Alchemist here and swung for an extra 3 damage. I don't know, it seemed a bit risky. If she Flame Strikes, she can clear my board. Luckily, she's... You know, I really just opened myself up wide to Flame Strike, didn't I? Luckily, she does not have Flame Strike, so that's good. She's got a Frostbolt, which I couldn't care less about. And then the Sunwalker's back. Alright. Well, we should be able to kill off this Sunwalker. It's going to be close, though. Multi-shot might miss it. Damn. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's a good thing I took Spellbreaker. That's pretty good. Can I win? 7 plus 5 is 12. Yes, I can win. Always look for the win, kids. Now we pop the Crazed Alchemist. See, I told you it would find a use. Steady shot, and then we get the kill. So the fact that I won that game was a little bit of a miracle. As a little bit of a post-mortem, I made a huge mistake and threw away a creature for absolutely nothing early on. And later on, I messed up and opened myself up wide to Flame Strike. However, she didn't have the Flame Strike, and she just had a really slow start, so I was able to win there. Okay, so that was cool. It's kind of interesting now, being in the stream, I don't actually have to stop and say, thanks for watching, like and or subscribe, we can just keep on playing, which is kind of fun. A few folks saying GG in the chat, thank you, I appreciate that, that was a good game. I definitely made some misplays, but you know, I've seen some people post comments on my channel where they like kind of get angry at me for making misplays. And it's like, why are you angry? Like, I'm the one who has to post this on the internet for everyone to see, like, what a noob I am. Like, why are you angry? Like, you're not the one who's losing games because you're screwing up. If I made a mistake, learn from it. Be excited that I made the mistake so that you don't have to. Like, you can be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that dumb thing that Papa Boris did. Alright, so this is where I'd really rather be second than first. And this is where I'd really rather this be a frickin' grizzly bear than a stupid Dread Corsair. But there is a chance I'll top deck my Eaglehorn Bow, and then all of a sudden this will be awesome. It's just obviously not super likely here with 26 cards here. Unleash the Hound's kind of a similar thing against Paladins as against Shamans. Because Shamans obviously put the totems on the field, giving you more Hounds. I would say, however, it's not as good against a Shaman because the totems, of course, have 2 health and the Hounds only deal 1 attack. And, of course, for the second time in a row, my opponent has a turn 1 coin play. Knife Juggler, oh god. Well, that's unfortunate. So, I can't do anything here other than Steady Shot. I can do nothing. And I probably am going to actually just have to play Unleash the Hounds as a removal spell for this Knife Juggler, which is the saddest thing in the universe. Oh my gosh. If people in the chat are saying that every time I mess up, they kill a man or they kill a puppy and their basement is full of corpses. How greedy do I get here? So the thing is, if I steady shot and try to use multi-shot next turn to kill off both these creatures, clearly at the very least a totem's coming out. So the possibility for multi-shot to actually kill anything is really small. That would be really greedy, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just go ahead and make Unleash the Hounds. This is the least impressive Unleash the Hounds in the history of mankind. But it's a 2-mana Kill Knife Juggler. Totally fine. It's basically like an arcane shot. And, okay, he did actually end up playing a couple more creatures, so it's a good thing I didn't hold out for multi-shot. You know, I never saw any explosive traps in this draft, which is a little bit unsettling, because obviously those would have been really nice. And this is a good illustration of why Explosive Shot's a nice card. Now, what's interesting is that Dread Corsair is actually really good against his board. It holds up against all of his creatures. The problem is that any buff, or any one of the umpteen scurbajillion Shaman 1-mana deal 3 damage spells will just completely take that pirate down. Next turn, probably after this dies in some fashion, I'll probably play the Tundra Rhino and kill off the Geomancer. Oh my god, he's got 2 spell damage. An Earth Shock or a Frost Shock will kill this Corsair. This is ridiculous. Oh, man. Oh, man. Defender, but yeah, well, whatever. If it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. Like, it's just, there was no getting around it. And so now multi-shot is still terrible because he's got this totem interfering. Deadly shot doesn't work. This is a tough game. Tundra Rhino doesn't work anymore because it doesn't deal enough damage. Ah, God. I mean, I could go for epic 1 in 3 odds multi-shot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play this Tiger. My health is getting perilously low. It's already going to get me down to at least 16, which is distressing to say the least. And, man, it's tough. I mean, the best I can hope for here is I have to kill this Kobold Geomancer with the Tiger. And then, like, multi-shot? Or maybe multi-shot first, hope it kills the Kobold, maybe the Tiger can kill off this totem. Boy. Definitely on my back foot here. But it's not over yet. I mean, he is ahead on cards. He's got the same number of cards in hand and a bigger board. But it's not, like, over by any means. So he's making a totem, he's playing a Flame Tongue, and he's swinging at me for terrifying damage. Does he have more stuff to play? No, don't play more stuff. No! Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. H. Do I really only have, like, 6 mana to deal with this right now? That's ridiculous. I'm actually going to get burned out here, folks. I have to multi-shot. You have to go for your outs. This is the only chance I have. Okay, that was decent. At least it killed the taunt creature. I am now able to kill the Flame Tongue. And note, I'm going to play the Starving Buzzard here, because it's a body. It's a warm body that just needs to hit the table. Any damage I can take away from my face is worth it. Sphinx is calling this an aggro shaman. That is what it was, and it was mighty effective. But I also had a slow draw. So that was just a bad combination. Now, the fact that he's killing my buzzard, or thinking about it anyway, is really encouraging, because that suggests that he doesn't have the kill, because if he had the kill, he'd obviously put 2 extra damage on my face. And multi-shot was really... Multi-shot and deadly shot were just terrible here against the shaman. The thing is, not that many people play shamans, so I think it's reasonable to, you know, play multi-shot and deadly shot. It's just that if you do, you know, come up against a shaman, sucks to be you. Taunt Totem, that's unfortunate. It stops me from killing any of his, like, actual creatures. That's great. I could Dark Iron Dwarf to kill the totem. I guess then I have a... Well, no, the buff isn't permanent anymore. No! Alright, we gotta do it. It has to happen. Alright, so... Steady shot, deadly shot would just be kind of pointless there. Although maybe I should have deadly shotted just to, like, hope I kill the defender. So a lot of folks are noticing that it is freezing. It is freezing for me as well. I honestly have no idea why that would be the case. If anyone here is a Twitch expert, and you can let me know what might be causing it to freeze. Again, I've actually, I've done all of my recordings on YouTube through Twitch, like, while having the internet open and everything. So this is no different than what I've always done to record. So I'm not exactly sure why that is. And some folks are noticing that the sound does not freeze, which is definitely good. I think if I closed the internet, I would also lose my ability to see the chat that I've popped out. Ah, yes, of course, a 7-7. That's totally fine. Not a Probalo, sir. Ah, okay. Freezing trap. Freezing trap. Well, here's what we have to do. I need to play the Tundra Rhino, so I can kill off this Leper Gnome, going down to a cozy 6 health. I then need to kill the Defender of Argus, of course. And I could play Deadly Shot and just hope it kills the War Golem, but what I'd actually rather do is play Freezing Trap. So the idea here is that, you know, if the War Golem attacks, it'll get sent back to his hand, and as long as he doesn't have any buffs to enable his totems to attack, then I'm in totally good shape. Some folks are suggesting that perhaps my bitrate is set too high. That's a great point. That actually might be the case. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's a really good suggestion, and what we'll do after this game is take a little bit of a break, and I'll lower my bitrate. So we'll see if that will improve the lag. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Mad Bomber! Oh my god. Fucking Bomber. Lord of the Arena, boo! Boo! You suck. Go home. Alright, now the good news is that I did, in fact, keep my Rhino alive. So I get to play this thing. Now, do I want to try to go for a Deadly Shot? You know what? No, I don't think so. I need to save that for when the War Golem drops back down, because he can still play it for 9 mana. Now, these hyenas, they charge again, so I can kill the bomber. I can kill the totem. I can kill the other totem. I can do that, and then steady shot. I might actually win this game, which is hilarious. If he doesn't draw any lava bursts, he's gonna die in a few turns. I really want him to play the War Golem back down, then I can deadly shot it. Yes, play the War Golem, my pretty. He he he. He. Oh my god, this is actually... Am I actually going to win this game? This is ridiculous. All he needs to do is draw a single Lava Burst and it's over. Granted, Lava Burst is a rare, but... it would actually be kind of sad now if that is what happens, because I'm about to win. This is ridiculous. Ah, boy. Papa Boris with the special winning when he's totally supposed to lose thing. Now, some folks are saying that I can actually go into the dashboard and... change the bitrate without closing the stream. Is that actually possible? Because I mean, the bitrate is something that I set in OBS, so I'm not sure that that's actually something I can do live while the stream is running. And my opponent went out in style with the Rockbiter weapon. Always go out in style, folks. He could have got me down to 2 health, but I guess he didn't have it. Wow. Alright, so folks, I'm going to pause the stream for just a little bit. I am going to go into OBS, and then I'm going to lower the bitrate significantly. So please hang tight. I promise I will resume very, very, very shortly. And we will keep on going with this arena with hopefully less lag. So see you in just a bit.